Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Taking Flight. It is Megan, and I have a friend with me today, and I'm so excited about it. Bringing guests onto the podcast again since moving to YouTube has been a little dream, and I am finally here, and I cannot wait. This is my friend Jodi, and I cannot wait until you get to know her more, until you get to hear this conversation that we dive into and all the beautiful things that are going to come from it. We're going to kind of do a fun little thing here today. Instead of doing like a full-on intro of like what she does and who she helps from the beginning, we're going to save that to the end. And I want you to try to guess from our conversation what you think she does. Now, she's going to say things that are pretty obvious. I'm pretty sure of it. So you've got a little bit of a, cheat sheet coming up, but we would just think it would be kind of fun to see what your thoughts are, especially if you're listening on YouTube. Jump into the comments, be a part of the conversation. We are here for it. So, hi, Jodi.
Hello.
How are you?
So good.
She's so good, guys, and we hope you are too. Okay, so, Jodi, if you went to a coffee shop and somebody asked you what was lighting you up right now, what would you answer?
Ooh, that's such a good question. I would say what is lighting me up right now is just learning more about myself every day. I've been into personal development for 5 or 6 years, something like that, but it just never gets old. Like, how can I be better today? I have 2 little ones at home, so I'm a mom too, but just being an example for them. And yeah.
I love it. Lighting you up to dive deeper within yourself. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so let's get into it.
Yes.
Let's do it. But I do have one more kind of silly question before we get into it.
I'm ready for it.
Of course, it's me. We have to keep it a little bit silly sometimes. Okay, if your personality walked into the room before you did, how would it announce itself?
Ooh. My personality walked into the room before I did, how would it announce myself? I would say as what I like to think, I guess.
Yeah, you never know, right?
Who knows? Be like, what's she doing? Like, where's she going after this?
Ooh.
That's my answer.
I like it. Who is she? What is she doing after this? That's going to be a clue pretty soon. It's going to make sense of like what she does in this world as to why that was her answer. And it makes so much sense. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about style.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah. I know it's something that you are so wholeheartedly passionate about. And you have such a very distinct, which is why your personality would be like, who is she? What's going on? Right? You have a distinct way of showing up in the world. And it's empowering, it is inspiring, it is all the things, at least for me. And you have changed my vision of myself when it comes to my own style. And it's always a work in progress, but you're always in my brain. So what brought you here to walk to this version of you and your style? And where did you come from before that?
Ooh. Well, let's start from the beginning. I was somebody who did not know how to dress myself for 22 years of my adult life. And everywhere I went, I just was very timid and unsure, never confident in what I put on for the day. It took me like an hour to get dressed and never be happy about what I was wearing.
Relatable.
And honestly, just like looking at other people, just like, why I want to be wearing that? Like, why am I wearing this? But never having the, I guess, information or the realization that I could have that. I just didn't know what it was.
Right. It makes sense because I think so many of us walk around just thinking, well, this is as good as it's going to get. This is just the best that I can do with what I have at hand, which is what we're doing a lot in life. I mean, it's just part of humaning. But I love that it's shifted for you. So what do you have a turning point of when you were over the idea of feeling that way, being out and being like, well, I just love how that person is showing up and how they're dressing, but it's not for me, kind of an idea. What was your turning point?
So my turning point was it just came into my world. And I think it was me also calling it in unknowingly because, like I said, it was never something that I acknowledged that it was even for me or something that I wanted. It was just something that was always out of reach. But when the answer and the solution came into my world, and it was basically just knowledge of a stylist in my area, learning about her and her methods, and just full body yes, like, oh my God, that's what I need. And I was a 40-year-old woman, mom of two, just in the perfect scenario, at least for me, that was ready to like, okay, I'm ready to take care of myself and I want this.
Ooh, that's so relatable because I can't imagine that people out there listening or watching. Also, if you're not watching, you should because her style is fabulous right now. So you should be watching on YouTube. But we've all been there. I know I have. And I was the person that was like, if I wanted to be comfortable, just threw a big t-shirt on and like leggings. And I never felt good about it, right? I didn't feel good about it. That was just my way of being comfortable.
Yeah.
And I've learned through you that you can be comfortable and cozy and curl up and still feel good about what's on your body, even in the most simple of outfits or forms. So how did you cultivate all of that? Like, where did you go? How did you do it? Where did it just move into for you?
What did that process look like
Yeah.
for me? So basically, it just started with saying yes. So this is what I want. This is what I need. And it was just putting my trust into somebody else that they had a vision that I couldn't see. And just letting go. So what it looked like was getting rid of 5 large garbage bags full of my clothes and poor decisions that I had made. And just saying that I was ready to let it go. So it's really a process where you're just letting go of past versions of yourself too. So it's really powerful in just knowing that I was being taken care of, knowing what was on the other side of that, and let myself see myself through somebody else's eyes.
Yes.
So and then just trusting the process.
Yeah. And I think it's very vulnerable to be there of letting somebody else kind of give you a nudge into a version or a vision of you that you quite don't understand or see yet. So that takes quite a bit of courage, essentially. But when you're at that breaking point of like, I just don't feel really great about myself, point blank, right? You can add in all the other little adjectives. I don't feel great about my style or this, but it's like you as the human are feeling lackluster and unworthy. And I think it's a beautiful thing when we can go, okay, I'm going to bring you in and I'm going to see what you have to say about this. And then you start to see that in yourself then, which clearly that was part of your transformation. I've seen kind of your like photos of your style before because I didn't know you during that time, like actually in real life, but I've seen photos and I'm like, whoa, that it's such a difference in the energy that you bring now.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily like not feeling good about myself, but like not feeling like myself. Like I had zero identity when it came to style. And that's something that I talk about a lot is style identity, but just not being connected to myself at all.
Right. Which actually ironically brings me to the next question, which she has no idea what the questions are. So that's beautiful flow here. But how does empowering yourself through style affect other parts of your life? Like how do you feel and see that flows?
It's the best thing ever. Just finding my style identity, like I said, once I had that, I had the tools to show up for literally everything in my life. And it wasn't showing up for myself, but it was showing up for everybody else in my world, my family, and then my business. You know, it gave me the strength to start my own business and just being able to just confidently go anywhere, and that feeling of not having to compare yourself to anybody at all is just like so freeing.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's really just like being able to move through the world feeling like me.
Yeah. Can you talk a moment, just because you said like even as a mom And I know there's so many people out there that because they're moms,
Yeah.
solely because they're moms, their style has gone out the window and it's throwing the hoodie and the leggings or whatever on.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak a little bit to that person who might be thinking they're on the back burner, and maybe it's not only because they're a mom, but there's other reasons. They're too busy, they're this, they're that. But can you speak to the soul of that person who's hiding behind that facade almost?
Yeah. Well, when we're mothers, it's just we're second fiddle to everybody. So we think about ourselves last. But luckily, we're in a day and age where self-care is so important. And we know that taking care of ourselves is going to ripple through every area of our life. So I think people are becoming more aware of it. But speaking to that mom who has no style identity, one of the things that comes up is most common is, we go through the childbearing and our bodies shift and we don't give ourselves the grace through that. A lot of us are just striving to get back to a certain weight to fit into our pre-children clothes. And we may never get there. But what those women don't understand is that all women go through body changes, like shifts, things of that nature. But to let go and be free of those versions that you're holding on to really allows yourself to step into what you are actually needing. But once you start dressing and feeling like this new version of yourself, it just really empowers you just to make better choices all around.
Yes. Well, and one thing, I remember when we had worked together, I was talking about kind of wanting to be more healthy in my food choices and things like that, and not always loving certain things and, like shying away from style because I was like, oh, I don't feel good about this or that or whatever. And for me, it's not all about what I look like, but it's what I feel like. Obviously, this is what we know. But you had mentioned something to the effect of sometimes when you kind of know what fits and makes sense to your body more, you start making better choices, like you just said.
Yeah.
And I started seeing myself like, oh, I see the potential this outfit has. And I love it so much. And I'm going to make better choices because I want to nourish my body properly. And it wasn't about the vanity of it, but it was about, I do see where I can better fulfill the nourishment that my body deserves, but will also still feel more confident in it just in general.
Yeah.
Especially in this rockin' outfit that Jodi made me realize is so cool, right? So it was like this weird thing that I started to see come to life. And I'm like, I had this little voice in my head, and it made me kind of have this tumbleweed, if you will, of shifts in the way I thought and the way I operated.
Yes.
Because I wanted to be my best self, my best confident self, no matter what that looked like, felt like. I knew I could be there when I make better choices.
Yes.
So I love that. Oh,
yeah. The power of choice is just, and that's what it's all about is like an outfit, for example. It's just like, why would I choose something that makes me feel okay when I have something that makes me feel really, really good?
Yes.
And it's just getting comfortable with just saying yes to those choices and getting, more comfortable in what your style is.
I love that. Okay, well, it's kind of on that topic. You talk about intention a lot and being intentional. What do you think is the intrinsic belief behind that, right? When we're intentional, what does that do to make us shift or change differently in saying, well, I don't want to feel this way, so I'm going to choose differently this time? Because we all know that saying that the definition of an insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So what is kind of the mindset shift, right? Or the idea behind that intention? Like, what do you think? Like, what is it really doing?
Being intentional.
Yeah.
I think it's just trusting yourself. So when just having the intention, like I said, the choices, like the power in your choices and the intention behind your choices. Like it's all a choice, but where am I going with this?
I feel like what I'm picking up from you is like having almost a mission for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what is your promise and mission to yourself in your life?
Yes.
Like, do you want to be a role model for your daughter, for instance? You don't want them to have to undo all the things that so many of us have had to undo.
Yeah.
So you're intentionally showing up and making these choices so that they can see different ways.
Exactly.
Different versions. Yeah. And it can go beyond, right? Like showing up for a person, but even you want to uplevel your business. and you know that showing up in a hoodie everywhere you go isn't going to do it. And I've been to so many different networking places and things, and there's times when I can, especially now knowing you and like all the work that you do, I can see when people are hiding just by the outfits that they're wearing.
Yeah.
And there's no perfection or a perfect outfit that's going to make you look or, be a certain way. Everyone's so different. But you can kind of see when people are like, don't talk to me.
The fidgeting's always a giveaway. Yeah.
Yes, the fidgeting.
Yes.
It is. How do we break the cycle then when it comes to these comfort clothes that have become so normal to us? No matter what it is for you, whatever your comfort clothes is, how do we break that cycle? Like, how do we change the way we think when we're grabbing and we're like on autopilot?
Yeah. I think it's changing mindset is such a big part of the whole process and what I do without giving it away. But it's just having a new definition of comfort.
Ooh.
Like there's clothes that look completely different that can still be comfortable, but also just really paying attention to your energy when you're in something. Because a lot of times if we're in like sweats, it's just we're not ready, and getting dressed is such a intentional part of my day. Going back to intention, one of the days that I take a little bit longer because I get caught up doing something else around the house, like my energy isn't the same than when I choose to get dressed from the moment I wake up. And then it's just being ready for anything. And just realizing that comfort can look so much different and taking inspiration. So maybe finding those outfits that like, oh, that looks comfortable, but that doesn't look like I'm wearing sweats and leggings.
Well, I love the idea that you bring to the table of you're kind of ready for anything. Because I mean, we've all been there when the unexpected guest comes and you're like, oh, I'm wearing, like you're wearing like a bathrobe and you're like, no. But what if you can still be in your comfies, but they are just a little more elevated. So if something comes up that you need to leave the house unexpectedly for, or somebody pops over, you're not like, oh man, I just don't feel good right now. You're there, you're feeling great. Something else that I've kind of made a rule for myself because of being in your world is that I never go more than 2 days without getting ready. And usually it's not even 2 days. I only made the 2 day rule. Sometimes you're just like not feeling 100%. You're not like feeling well. So you might not want to put on, makeup or do your hair or whatever. But like, I have seen how much it shifts for me because some people are, I just work from home. Well, first of all, we're taking the word just out of our vocabulary. If you haven't heard that episode, just is just a very like mediocre way of thinking about anything. But you don't just work from home. You're doing something. You are putting your energy into the world. And so for me, on the days, especially if I have a week where I have multiple days in a row, I don't want to just be like, well, I don't matter.
Yeah.
So I still take, even if it's 20 minutes and it's just a little eye makeup and a shirt that makes me feel really good, I do it.
Yeah.
And it changes you.
It's so great. My favorite thing to do is just say yes. Like, so when those things come your way, like a friend shows up at the door, like, let's go here, whatever it is. It's just, things come in for a reason. And if I'm not ready to say yes to it, I'm just shutting it down.
Say that again. I feel like that was good.
Just when things are always coming into our world for a reason. So if you're not ready to say yes to it, it's going to go somewhere else.
That's so good because it makes me think of how often have we probably just been like in our little caves of comfort and something just floats on by because we're just like, not me, and part of it is because we don't feel good in what we're wearing, feeling like that day, the preparation we put in, or even like the idea of like remembering you exist, like looking in a mirror and remembering that you exist, if nothing else. There's power in that, The other thing too I'd love you to touch on is kind of like giving gratitude to clothes that don't like no longer serve you anymore, like something that reminds you of an old time in your life or a different version of you or an old boyfriend that like it ended amicably and you just want to like, for some reason you're still holding onto that shirt, but like it doesn't do you anything. Like, let's touch on that.
Those are things that it's a few things here and there are okay to keep, I think, if it really does have positive memories associated with it. But everything is energy. So if you're not wearing it and you're just keeping it, it's stuck stagnant energy. So we need to have a closet that's I love you, I choose you, I get to choose you. So as far as those things, if you're just holding on to it for the sake of holding on to it, take a picture, journal about it. Like those are going to keep the memory alive better than just having something in a bin somewhere or taking up valuable space in your closet.
Let's touch on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact I have been that person who's like, well, one day I think I'll wear it and it's got the right time or the right place for it. And that right time and right place never comes.
Yeah.
And it is clogging up my brain. It's clogging up my thought process because it's overwhelming for somebody who can have focus issues. It's like, well, now I'm overwhelmed before I even know what I want to feel like today.
Yeah.
So can we touch on that? Because like, how do we, because you always talk about the idea of like, what are you grabbing for the most?
Mm-hmm.
Or what are you never grabbing for?
Yeah.
How do we navigate that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, and we're going to have more clues pop in here.
Oh yeah. I feel like if you haven't figured it out quite yet, and at least in the right like realm,
yeah,
it's pretty.
But having like an overstuffed closet is just chaos. You can't make sense of it. There's going to be so much that you're not choosing, and most people only wear about 20% of their wardrobe, 20 to 30%. So there's so much that goes unworn. But really having clarity. I hate the rule I'm going to start with about people, if I haven't worn it in a year, it has to go. That's not always the case. Sometimes it's a really great piece, but people just don't know how to wear it. So just having that clarity of why you love something, if you really do truly love it, or is it serving a version of you that isn't around anymore. But if you do actually love it, like how are you going to make it work in your everyday life or your special occasion pieces, but have those things limited. I really like to have everything in my closet serve me and get worn.
Ooh, yes. We only wear, you said 20%
Yeah.
of what's in our closet?
Yeah, 20 to 30%.
So if you're stuffing your closet with a bunch of stuff that you only wear 20% of, and then you're feeling overwhelmed by it, you're just like your own little
yes
stress.
It's a
wheel.
vicious cycle.
You are your hamster.
Yeah.
Like in your closet, just not knowing where to go and what to do.
Yeah. And then think about all the stuff that's not getting worn. Again, that's stuck stagnant energy. Also, it's just could be poor purchasing decisions. So you're really not taking the time to assess why it's sitting there, why it's not being worn, why you bought it in the first place. So it's really diving into the entire mindset of a closet.
Your whole closet has a mindset.
Yeah.
It's like a living, breathing brain.
Yes.
I just find it fascinating because after learning from you and, walking through what you bring to the table for people, I have noticed, 'cause I think you asked me a couple times ago when we were together, have you found that there's things you're reaching for less? And I was like, yes, the answer is I have gotten rid of additional things because I realized that I was holding on to them for reasons that made no sense anymore.
Yeah.
And I only learned that from living in more intention and knowing what makes more sense for my body and things like that. And then I was like, yeah, you got to go, because it's not that I haven't grabbed for you. I just know that it isn't anything that I want anymore. Like it doesn't serve me at all. And it's like when you learn that about yourself, you're just like, I don't want to be on this hamster wheel anymore, and it's such an interesting thing.
That just goes back to the intention piece and the power of your choices and being more intentional. So it's a slow process and it's a learning process. And that's really what I like to tap into is the tools for life for people and not just a quick fix.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Because we all want the quick fix. We feel like we want that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really ever sustain.
Yes.
It just doesn't.
Sustainable.
Oh, sustainability. Okay, this is kind of a little bit of a different tangent, but I think it is an important thing because I think some people get stuck in this. What would you speak to for somebody who feels that taking time to look a certain way and put themselves together is superficial?
Ooh, I love this question. And I think that's why it was so out of reach for me for so long, is because I grew up, in the mindset in the community where wanting something that somebody else has had was a sin or being vain about caring about the way you look was, a sign of vanity. And it's not about that at all. So it's really just changing the mindset around that too. And it's not about having things. It's really about how you feel and tapping into like who you are as a person. It's because style isn't going anywhere. It's like how
True.
it's like the silent way of how we present ourselves. So our appearance tells a story before we even open our mouths.
Yeah, it's so true. And I love that you kind of like reminded us that it's not vanity, it's not vain. Wherever that came from, it's such an interesting situation to kind of think about, that we got to that point where we think, well, that's just vain for you to want to take some time to feel good. You know, where's the vanity in that? It's really more like a human care. Like we care about how we feel, which then in turn we care about what other people are experiencing as well.
Yeah.
So when we feel better, we do better.
Exactly.
When we do better, other people also benefit from that.
100%.
So I love that. Thank you for touching on that, because I grew up kind of a little bit opposite, where it was like my mom and my grandma, actually both my grandmas, were very much about like they wanted to leave the house feeling put together, right? And honestly, if I'm being really honest, I used to kind of like poke fun at it. We used to like make fun of my mom, like, oh, you're wearing like that while we're just like driving in the car, like a 12-hour drive to like South Carolina. You know, we have this like long running joke, like you're wearing a t-shirt, you know, but it was like, you know, like a 3/4 length, like light, like sweater. But now I'm like, oh, I totally understand, you know?
Yeah.
I was a teenager at the time where I was going through a lot. So I just didn't think about it like that it was actually just like they just cared about themselves for a moment, and so then in turn, you know, we're going out in the world in a better place, you know.
Yes.
So I love that because I think it's something we need to kind of like break a little bit, you know. I feel like we already kind of touched that, like how do our clothes kind of touch into our daily energy, you know, because like I feel like it's like a case study that we could be like, you know, we go out and like, okay, this control group is going to go out wearing these type of, you know, clothing without carrying it, like whatever. And then this control group's going to do that. And we would probably see some big shifts and differences, you know, and like how they carry themselves in situations that they come across. I mean, it just goes without saying at this point, I feel.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily about what you wear, but it's just how you show up. So it's all about energy, going back to energy.
Yeah.
It's just like if you're feeling yourself and you're feeling like you, that's going to read completely different than somebody that's trying too hard or whatever. So it's not like being so uncomfortable that you're like, this doesn't feel like me, but really just tapping into like who you were meant to be.
And we all deserve that.
We all
deserve to be who we are meant to be. Okay, so kind of as we wrap this up, if someone who was listening this was all hitting the nail on the head for them, and they're going, I don't really feel very great about the way that I'm showing up. I don't have a style, and if I do, I don't know what it's supposed to be, where I should go with it. What is something that they can do, like some sort of actionable step that they can take today, this week, to start changing that?
Yeah, my thoughts about that is really just finding your style identity, which I spoke about earlier, but it's what are you being drawn to? So taking that moment, I love Pinterest as a tool because it's just such a great source of images. Don't shop the links, but just the source of images to start compiling inspiration for yourself, and not for somebody who doesn't look like you, but somebody who does look like you, someone with the same body shape, someone with your height, someone with your essence, skin tone, hair tone, and that's going to read on you way better than an outfit that's just completely out of reach. So really just learning how to dress your body, taking inspiration, and just building slowly. So really, first and foremost, taking inventory about what you already have that can help you create these looks. And then just, slow, intentional steps.
I must just note that I love that you remind people to pin stuff or use inspiration of people who are at least somewhat similar to you.
Yes.
Because as someone who's 4'11", doesn't have a torso, more athletically thick build.
Yeah.
If I'm pinning people who are 5'10" and, really long legs and a long torso, and then I try to emulate the clothing that they have on, it's not going to translate. I know I've probably done it a million times over, and I'm like, and all it does is break your heart because you're like, why don't I look like that? Well, because you don't, and you aren't going to, and there's nothing wrong with that. We just need to dress the body in which you have and you're blessed to have. And so I love that you remind people of that, because I think people don't even think about it. They're just like, oh, I like that top. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like that vibe. But like, will it translate?
Yeah. And something I come across all the time is I could never wear that. And it's like, that could be true. Like, that outfit might not be for you. But then really looking at, like, I mean, we see it everywhere, just people dressing for all types of bodies and taking inspiration from other people. Like, okay, I can't wear that, but I could wear that. And I could rock the shit out of that.
Yes. Well, and I feel like too, if you like something about it, you can find something that emulates that essence.
Yes.
But makes sense for you.
Exactly.
Right? It might not be that same skirt or whatever, but it could be something like, what do you like about it? Like, do you like the edginess of it or whatever it might be, and just find a different way about it for you.
Exactly.
And that's what you do.
Yes.
So in case you have not figured out what she does, what do you do? Who are you, Jodi? How do you help people?
Hi, I'm Jodi. My business is called Uplevel Redesign, and I am in the business of transformation and helping women get dressed. So I am intentional, sustainable stylist. The most sustainable clothes are the ones that are already in your closet. So we always start there first, but really create with my clients that vision for their style identity. So I couldn't do it on my own. So I went through my transformation in 2021. So blessed and lucky and grateful to be able to do the same for women now. It just kind of happenstance fell into this lane, and I completely pivoted my entire business. But it's just what I am so passionate about because it was so life-changing for me. Yeah. So first step, creating that clarity. Second step, making your wardrobe work very hard for you and making it easy and fun. And that's how we should be getting dressed every day. So, and then when we shop, the sustainability piece, first and foremost, I always like to do secondhand. So consignment, resale, thrift, things of that nature. And if people don't want to shop secondhand, we go to the local boutiques just to keep it local, keep it more sustainable. So, and then putting it all together is step 3. If you're doing an all-in transformation, I do have a single day, just a wardrobe wake up. But the 3-step process is really where my clients get the most results. So putting everything together, creating a digital lookbook for them so they can pick out what they're going to wear from bed. And they don't have to remember what outfits we put together, what to wear with what, but just making everything cohesive. And again, just intentional, slow and low. Like, you're not going to build your style in one transformation session with me, but really getting to know what is feeling best on you and why, and taking that time to slow it down so you're not wasting money on things that do not serve you. So really just being more mindful of our purchasing decisions, which the sustainability just all wraps up. Like, the fashion industry is having an insane impact on the planet. So it's really just time to change how we do things.
Yes. Oof. Did you guess a personal stylist? Did you? No, it's an amazing thing. And what you do for someone is priceless, literally, because it goes beyond that, right? Like you said, you save money over time because you're not purchasing things that will never be worn or will be worn with disdain. Like, oh, I don't even feel good in this. So it's like there's just so many other added benefits to it in the long run, and just the confidence that people come out of when they work with you.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. So if you're feeling lackluster, if you're feeling like you need to understand, how to build your confidence in your style more, absolutely follow Jodi if you don't already. If you're in my community, you may already follow Jodi, but if you don't, please do. Everything will be in the show notes, all of her socials, all that good stuff. So please, get into her world, and, just enjoy learning how you can better just understand yourself and the way that you can operate in this world with so much more confidence, because it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts to leave with anybody?
Yeah, one piece I missed is like we kept talking about intentions. That's one
Yeah.
of my favorite things that I provide for people is their intentional shopping list. So they know how to take what they already have to that next level. So they don't have to guess when they're shopping what they need to be buying, but they know exactly what that piece is. And then also we are dressing people for their goals. So we get down and dirty. Like we're talking about your future self, your goals in life. So we're not dressing you for now, but we're dressing you for your 1 year self, your 3 year self, your 5 year self. So you don't have to keep dressing for every step of the way. You can dress for that next version that you've been dreaming about. And we all know, like, when you're in the energy of that person, you become them a lot faster.
100%. So good, Jodi. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. And everybody out there, please take this as your little nudge to remember to take yourself seriously for a moment, and not too seriously, but seriously enough that you understand that you deserve to feel good, look good, be out there. And like she said, moving into the version of yourself that you feel like is only a pipe dream, but really it's a reality. And when you become more intentional, you show up as that person, it's going to show. So have some fun playing around with your style, checking into what that feels. And I can't wait to hear where you go with all of this.